David Sutter from Wyopreps.com, and this week's small school game of the week takes us back to Class 2A this week, a top five showdown in the Bridger Valley. The fifth-ranked Cokeville Panthers coming off a big win against the rival of these guys at number one, co-number one, Mountain View Buffaloes. And Mountain View head coach Brent Walk joins me. Brent, again, thanks so much for taking a few minutes to chat. 3-0 start for your ball club. What have you seen out of your team in this 3-0 start, particularly coming off a big win on the road at Lovell?
Yeah, well, first of all, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. I enjoy this, David. But our kids are we focus in on we graduated a lot of kids last year, but we had I knew we had some good talent coming in, and so we've really focused in on getting better every single day. We didn't play great in week one against Rich County. And I think we learned from that. So what I'm seeing out of our kids is our kids are 100% bought in. They're working extremely hard. And this is the 13th year I've been the head coach, and it is absolutely at the top of one of the most coachable teams I've ever had. I mean, they are absolutely doing exactly what our staff asks them to do. So, we're having a blast right now.
Talk about Justice Platts coming off an outstanding performance. He was one of our athletes of the week, honored earlier this week from last week's performances. What is he doing to really run your offense right now, Brent?
Yeah, JP's doing, we call him JP, and I mean, he's doing a phenomenal job. He can throw it, he can run it, and he's taken on a big leadership role with our offense and our whole team this year. So, he's a dual threat kid. He's a playmaker. His decision making has really, really elevated. As a sophomore, yeah, he was a younger player, but he's a heck of a player as a sophomore. But he's doing pretty much everything right now.
Who else kind of do you really lean on, especially from a leadership standpoint here as you're starting to get into the grind of the season?
Yeah, well, probably the first kid that jumps out is Isaac Linford. He's having a great year, man. He's a great kid and absolutely loves football. But I don't know if I told you this last year, but we put a huge emphasis on not just senior leadership, but like everybody in the program. We have freshmen that we consider their leaders, and we try to teach all of our kids that you gotta find your spot within the program in terms of leadership. But Isaac, he loves football. He loves Mountain View football, and he's doing a great job for us.
Cokeville Panthers, they just beat your Bridger Valley rival Lyman last week in a heck of a football game, tooth and nail pretty much all the way. What do you see out of Coach Linford's bunch coming to town?
Well, obviously it's Cokeville, so we know they're going to play extremely hard, and the stuff that they do, they're going to be well coached. Their technique, they'll play good defense. So yeah, we know we got our hands full, man. But we're looking forward to the challenge. That's for sure.
Speaking of a challenge, how do you not go about getting frustrated when or if they control the clock on Friday afternoon?
Yeah, yeah, and that's something myself and the staff has kind of talked about it. But we defensively, we can stop that. We can control that if we're tackling, and we're doing the things that we're supposed to be doing. So, obviously, our number one priority is to stop their run game, and if we're able to do that, we like our chances.
Well, Brent, sounds like, and it's shaping up to be a good matchup on paper. Hopefully, it's a good game. But I wish you best of luck, and thanks for taking a few minutes.
All right, David, I appreciate you, man.
We continue talking about our Wyopreps small school game of the week this week, taking us to Class 2A. We've heard from Mountain View coach Brent Walk. Time to visit with Cokeville head coach Marty Linford. And Marty, first of all, thanks for taking some time. Describe the start to the season for your ball club, and particularly coming off a nice, hard-fought conference win at home over Lyman last week.
We started the season off playing West Jefferson, Idaho. They'd probably be in the lower end of the 3A in Wyoming. Not lower end skill-wise, but numbers-wise. And it was a good game for us because they're very physical. And then they ran the single wing much like Lyman does. And so it really helped us prepare for Lyman. And then we had a great game against Lyman. Gosh, that was fun to coach, fun to be a part of. We played lights out defensively. It was good.
Yeah, I was going to say that looked like a barn burner. I was able to watch some of it before taking off for my game. So what have you seen out of your team, even including the scrimmage and through two games? What do you like? What kind of concerns you right now here early on?
What I like is the fact that we've had great practices. We have not had a practice where you came away from it going, gosh, we just did not have the energy today. So they've been practicing well, and they've improved. We improved from our first game to our second game, and if we can improve this week, That's what we need to do. We just have to keep improving.
Obviously, I think Jack Dayton, a couple other guys kind of got the headlines last year. Who do you kind of look to for leadership and guys to kind of make some plays happen for your squad this year, Coach?
Great question. I got a great group of seniors, and they're not speedy and flashy like Jack and Micah were last year, but they're very, very solid football players. They were all conference football players. Kason Walker was third in the state last year in tackles. He's playing great defensively. Justin Moyes had 100-yard rushing last week. Ryder Pope's doing well. Caleb Hatterley is doing well. I just have a great group of seniors to coach. Not a lot of them, but they are a great group.
All right, the big challenge in front of you this week. You go on the road, and here you are taking on the Mountain View Buffaloes. What do you see out of Coach Walk's squad so far? What you're kind of anticipating Friday afternoon?
And I tell you, that is a great football team. They're playing really, really well. They do things differently than Lyman. Lyman, we knew they were going to come and try to run it down our throats. And Mountain View, they're going to come and try to pass it down our throats. And we've got to control the ball. If we can control the ball and not let them have it for a long time, we will be successful.
How do you go about slowing down a player that is so capable and he's got the ball in his hands every play? Talking about Justice Platts, their quarterback. How do you go about slowing him down, especially coming off a performance like he had at level last week?
You know what? I don't know that we can really slow him down too much, but we have a good defensive game plan, and if we execute it, we'll be in the ball game, and that's what we can ask for.
And lastly, Coach, this is just one step along the way in a difficult two-way West. How do you keep your team kind of even keeled, focused on the step-by-step process?
Ah, that's a good question because now that we're in the two-way, we can't take a game off. We can't just have a so week of practice and come out and say, yeah, we're probably going to blow this team out by 40 points and the JV is going to be playing in the second half. We've got to strap up and play every single game, and the kids know that. They've been through it now for 3 years, and so that's their mindset. And being the smallest school in the league by far, we know we have to do that, and so that's just what they do every week.
Well, Coach, as always, thank you so much for your time. Wish you best of luck against the Buffaloes and Mountain View Friday.
All right, thanks. Appreciate you.